So this episode of Social Climate Change, it's the first time I ever recorded anything on the phone, a phone conversation. But I really wanted to do this, and I was excited to talk with my friend, an old roommate actually, about he has schizophrenia, and we discussed that and mental health in general, and it's a pretty interesting episode. So yeah, enjoy. Yo, it's social climate change. Weird app. I think I followed it correctly. But shit, man, how you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I've actually been tripping out a little bit, so it's been alright.
Why you been tripping?
I think I've been on the drug of life.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's one to OD on too.
Yeah.
It's the one we all OD on.
Yeah, it could be it's a good one.
But in a good trip out, like, are you tripping out good? Because you told me earlier, like, you're feeling kind of good, right?
Yeah. I've been feeling alright, for sure.
Cool. Man, I'm happy you enjoyed the episode of the pod where he's talking about Juice World appropriation.
Yeah, sorry, my roommate's sleeping, so I'm trying to talk quietly, but
My bad.
Yeah, I feel like I don't listen to Juice World. I didn't, and so I kind of understood what he was saying though. And I don't know why. I love music, but when I first kind of started to hear about this new kind of rap era.
This new kind of rap. What do you think?
Well, I'd never been privy to this kind of rap image.
Yeah.
And I feel like it kind of came into the spotlight a lot more recently.
What is the image exactly? Like, what do you mean?
How
would you describe this image?
Of face tattoos and
That's a big one for sure.
Yeah. I actually kind of like
colorful hair.
Colorful hair. But honestly, I like Post Malone and I like the colorful hair. So
he has the most face tats out of all of them. He literally he has a ball. He has literally like a medieval ball and chain tatted on his cheek.
I saw that.
It was kind of crazy. I'm like, okay, man. Like,
I don't know.
I don't even know.
But
I mean,
what happened was when I heard the name Juice World, I expected the genre of gooey, like Glass Animals, and like that's what I think of when I think of Juice. I think of like bell tones,
sugary folk.
Well, yeah, you could, but a little bit more electronic. But like bell synthesize, and some like deep, kind of. And I had high hopes when I heard the name Juice WRLD, and then I was just let down when I.
You were let down.
I was.
He's more lyrical than most rappers these days.
Is he still alive?
No, he's not.
Okay.
But I love Lil Peep, and
Lil
he's
Peep.
not here, and XXX was good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. All right, so I do get the whole appropriation thing. That's like whatever. That's a different topic altogether. But it seems like, how do you feel about maybe like mainstream culture?
I'm not a fan. Right now, okay, yeah.
No. There's more to the question. There's more to the question.
Just a hater.
I just fucking hate it.
Everything. I can't stand anything.
No, but like everyone talking about mental health these days, how everyone has anxiety. Everyone has ADHD. At least that's me. I mean, I always say I can't focus unless I take Adderall, but I can. I'm just like, don't feel like it, and it's like, okay. But It just seems like a lot of people are Do you think they're appropriating mental illness culture? Is there a culture around mental illness besides being medicated?
You know, that's a good question because
And they're using it to have like days off of work, or it's like, you know?
I do feel like everything is a spectrum, right?
I would agree with that.
And so yeah, I'm sure that, and this is something that I'm interested in kind of bringing to light, because I don't think that, it's everyone has a little. I'm sure that everyone at one point experiences a little bit of anxiety, and from what I've heard, anxiety is a good uh, thing to have.
Yeah.
It can help you get away from actual dangerous situations. And I mean, some people have that a overactivity of that maybe how someone else perceives the environment to be inappropriate.
No,
And
yeah.
right, it kind of in how the majority of the world perceives the environment. So they can't function because if everyone had that level of anxiety, then they wouldn't be different, right? So, but just how
Like Kanye
everything.
West saying is like his bipolarness is a superpower.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if everybody
That
was
seems
bipolar,
a little bit like appropriation, but it's not. Fuck that. If you have any sort of mental illness, why not be proud?
yeah,
And I think it is true. I think that being a little off makes you a little bit different, and in this world, the cookie cutter, like, that's kind of a good thing. But
yeah.
but
But
what you said that got me thinking about something that I heard. Um, it's like, why we have anxiety nowadays is because you're right. Like it's supposed to maybe keep us from doing bad decisions. Like it keeps us from doing stupid things, or because like back in the day, I heard that we needed these senses to be hyper alert, to be this alert, so we could know if like there's a predator about to eat us.
right.
And it's
Yeah,
like we don't know whether like,
it definitely is, and something that like in
and
the
we
beginning
keep
of
that
kind of
now.
like my like mental journey, like I kind of started this. I had a diagnosis and I didn't kind of know what to do with myself, and then I was at
What
my
do you
uncle's.
mean?
I had this diagnosis with schizophrenia, but I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Um, I
How old were you when
went
you got diagnosed?
uh 21.
Really? So like before that, was it like relieving when you heard that, or was it more like,
No, it was I was still confused. I didn't my perception of schizophrenia was audio and visual hallucinations, and I didn't think I had too many of those. And what I was experiencing was this pain, this feeling that has been described as, and fortunately, there are videos on YouTube of other patients who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia that respond similarly to me.
what do
And
you mean? How did you respond?
very angrily. And I think that the term mad
An
is,
understatement.
well, like, people are called crazy, they're called mad. Like, I was mad. I was actually mad, and I might have been, delusional about, I might have been mad. So,
It made you didn't. So do you think it was almost like a placebo effect? Only like I'm not saying what they diagnosed is not true, but do you think that it kind of, knowing that, was like, okay, fuck, like I guess I am supposed to be like this? Did it like, I don't
no,
know.
not until I did my own research. Not until, I mean, in the beginning, I thought that I had anxiety, and I was researching anxiety, and I was using.
What would you feel nervous about? Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, exactly. I was just experiencing this terrible pain that nobody understood, and so I was like,
What
if
kind
no
of
one
pain, man?
when I'm in it, I can't describe it,
Understand.
um, I think how it's just it's
Of like not belonging, like.
well, I think that I don't know if this is normal, but I think that, you know, if you get really depressed or you get really anxious, you might feel something. There might be actually something you feel, and it's not like you got cut in your arm, you know? Like that's a nerve ending that's been pricked. But like your brain might make you feel something that is separate and
Like separate from what's good for your body.
separate from like the yeah, well, it's I don't know. But anyways, I think that like I don't know, but and
Were you actually hearing voices when you were before you were diagnosed? Because when we were living together, you told me that like, yeah, I hear a couple. You're like,
yeah,
they talk to me sometimes.
okay, I might have been. Yeah, I think that they're
You might have
not.
been overhyping it.
They're just certainly not as apparent, I think, as some other people have.
Yeah, I mean, it's like acid. People think like, yeah, they think it's one thing when it's like another thing. You've taken acid before, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that did anything to your mental health or like
You
at
know,
all?
I read, you know, in a study that's good to know is that they've connected schizophrenia with a gene, and there's actually a lot of people that have this gene, but it never gets kind of activated or like, so, I think that maybe taking acid might have kind of
Awoken the gene?
triggered this kind of thing.
Shit.
Maybe I was also in a very dark place when I took acid and around that time, so that might have done it. I got kicked out of school. I ended a relationship. There's this whole, you know, half a year that a lot of things changed in my life.
And it was like during the time you
Trump
also
Trump was getting elected.
So the world was beginning to fall apart.
Yeah, everything
The
was
first brick fell.
to shit. Sorry. And so I certainly got activated, and it's just this terrible, cold, pricking feeling. A big needle, you know, very large needle.
But why schizophrenia and not like depression?
I think that my diagnosis is disorganized schizophrenia. So,
and what does that mean?
It means that there's less audio and visual hallucinations, and more disorganized thinking. So more tangential thoughts that don't really connect.
That's funny because it makes sense. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about because that's how we were texting earlier. But I understood what you were talking about.
Good.
I mean, dude, if I'm being completely honest, like, I'm not trying to, like, I don't want to ever feel like I'm taking away from someone else. Like, if they ever, like, feel like they have something too, or, like, they have a legit, like, thing. But I feel like I have, like, mild schizophrenia sometimes, or, like, mild Tourette's. Like, I have these weird random outbursts where I'll be talking to, like, my girlfriend, to Sarah, and I'll just get, like, really, and, like, we're in a fight, but it's, like, more than that. I'm talking normal, and then all of a sudden, because I'm trying to calm it down, and then all of a sudden, I just can't anymore. It feels like it would literally hurt if I don't, like, scream. And so I have to scream, it feels like.
And so we talked about appropriation.
Well, I mean, but we also talked about spectrums, right? And I think that mental illness, and especially schizophrenia, actually, I think that there's levels to everything. And I think that...
Yeah, and
like,
that's what I'm trying to get out. Because
I think that I really do think that I have mild schizophrenia, man. I don't hear the voices, but you know what? Actually, that's not true. I do. They're my own voice. So maybe that's like multiple personality disorder.
Right. No,
but
mean,
it's like,
you rationalize
different characters for sure. Like,
yeah. You know, it is good to have the I think that some people don't have the mental capacity. Like they might hear things that aren't real, and their thoughts might be too loud.
Oh, dude,
But
it's also like seeing signs. It's like, what does it mean when you look too hard at reality and having like you smoke too much weed? Only you do that on the daily, and only like you're not actually high, and you just look at the world and it's like a license plate says go to hell, and you're like, oh damn it, that means where I'm going when I die, straight down, motherfucker.
I know,
It's
no,
like
man.
reading too much in the signs. I feel like is also almost a mental illness. It's like, why are you reading so much into that? I thought this was all supposed to be random. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what I'm trying to say about the spectrum.
Oh yeah, sorry, I went on a tangent.
That I'm trying to learn to have, to understand that I'm more normal than I think I am.
I would agree with that 100%. When you told me that you were schizophrenic, when we like first met, when you moved in, I was like really surprised.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. I was like, what? Really? And I couldn't, you know, then we had our own shit. You know, there were some outbursts here and there, but they were few and far between. And I just think that it was really amazing because, you know, obviously we're friends and I just, you know, it's just really funny because you hear someone has schizophrenia and you kind of tend to think the worst. And it's not true, like, at all. It surprised the fuck out of me that you even had it. I was like, then maybe I don't understand what it is, really.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, totally. There's this stigma, and
Definitely.
this so unhealthy.
And it's like, you know, they're like, it's okay to have a little anxiety, but dude, you're hearing voices, and it's like, dude, all right, like.
I know. Yeah, there's. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And you know, they don't. There is no pill that you take, and you know, it gets rid of schizophrenia. They don't.
Yeah, I mean,
it's manageable, but they don't have, you know, they do have, you know, medication that, you know, I'm not taking.
I am curious of what it feels like mentally or physically to be medicated versus not.
Yeah. I certainly had a couple. You know, every time that I've started taking medication, I've kind of gone on it for like three months, and then I've decided that it's not good for me. Yeah, and
what does it feel like are you taking anything now that it kind of works?
I feel like it dumbs me down, or not dumbs me down, but I feel like I've lost something. But I'm like aware that I've lost it, and that can be like really hard on.
What does it feel like you're losing?
A lot of yourself, like your dreams, and like your like imaginate like
your spark.
Yeah, your spark. Yeah, there's definitely a thing that you know, they're trying to calm down, and it might be doing too much. And
But have you ever had an outburst while you were on your meds?
Yeah, for sure.
Have.
From what I remember, the meds didn't really help with the feeling at all. You know, I take the meds, and the feeling will still be there. I might not, you know, it might look like, you know, I'm like smiling and like sometimes the meds like made like change how I emoted. It's not even. It's like I certainly noticed that. I think that audio and visual hallucinations are different and maybe better, less apparent when I'm taking medication.
So I thought you didn't really get the audio hallucinations.
You don't have audio hallucinations?
I thought you didn't. I just thought you said that before.
That I don't?
That you don't get. I mean, well, it's weird. When we were living together, you told me that you did. get them, but it wasn't like, crazy shit. It was just something different, and I didn't really understand, but
I don't understand that either.
Kind of do.
Sorry. I think that I think that I was really hurt at that time. And I said, maybe I was just attributing my thoughts to having audio hallucinations because I was just so hurt about this diagnosis and not understanding what was going on. But I was in pain and suffering, and nobody seemed to be fixing it. But I was going to doctors and
I see what you mean. You wanted to be taken seriously.
yeah, I'm sorry. No, there's a like a hate that I've done it. I just lie sometimes. My grandma, she has been a trigger for me, and she has been a trigger for me, and so she comes. I was staying at her apartment in Manio, and she came. This is before my most recent hospital stay. And she came over, and I was just, it was awful.
Well, what happened?
I was separated from reality. I was like not part of what she was, and then not being part of that is like so painful. And
like you felt like you weren't part of her reality.
Yeah, and like things she was saying just like weren't the same as what I was thinking, and so like we had all these disagreements, and it was like really bad. And so like she noticed that like I was like kind of catatonic, like I was just trying to stay still and be like, I'm trying to emote that like I'm in pain, but like she didn't seem to understand. And so she was like, are you hearing voices and seeing things? And like that really hasn't been the issue for me. And so yeah, the issue hasn't been the voices and hallucinations. It's been this feeling. And so I just lied. I was like, yeah, I'm seeing demons all over the place. There's just demons all over this house. They're talking to me, and there's just demons. She's like, okay. And like it didn't seem to like resonate with her how bad it was. And so
so that wasn't even enough for her to be taking what you were like, to understand that you were hurting and you needed help.
I feel like part of the issue is that I was so separate from reality that I don't know if there's a way that she would have been able to empathize with me.
But you didn't actually see the demons.
No. And so
I feel like you do that sometimes. You're like, I can't fit into this reality. I'm just gonna fuck with it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So that was that next morning I was still in a lot of pain, and I was like, hey, I don't think I can handle this right now. I need to go to the hospital. And at that time, this is the separate from reality part that you might be, I don't know, interested in. But
what?
I thought that I had multiple sclerosis.
What is that?
MS. I did all this research.
Skin disease?
No, it's a nervous system disease, and I did all this research, and I was all over because I was like this pain. I go to all these. I was going to a counselor, a therapist in Manio, and she didn't know what the heck I was talking about. And I still go to doctors here right now, and if I tell them, if I say to my psychiatrist right now, if I say to her, I experienced this really painful experience, she will ask me, what does it feel like? Like, rather than saying, oh, I'm so sorry that you feel that. Like, she does, there's no, like, I don't think that the doctors know. And I think she's asking because she's trying to get a better grip as to what this is, because I don't know if there's very much research into what it is yet. Or maybe I'm wrong, but that's my understanding.
What do you mean? I mean,
I have been wrong before.
the multiples. Well, I mean, maybe. Wait, so and you were there? Why were you there? Just to kind of talk to her, just to talk?
With my grandmother?
Oh, this was with your grandmother, and you were saying, this was with your grandmother that wasn't asking how you felt.
Well, it's like everyone asks how I feel. it's kind of frustrating,
But
because no one seems to understand.
but it also sounds like, you also just kind of wanted her to understand that you're hurting and feel bad about it, not just like, okay, you're hurting, not just like a fucking machine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was definitely. So yeah, I went to the hospital, and honestly, that hospital stay was the worst suffering that I went through. There was just this one night where it was like a combination of like sufferings.
What happened? This was like 2 weeks ago or a month ago?
No, this is maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
Shit.
Um, I I I mean, everything like went black. Like I was just like laying in my bed, and like it was already kind of hard, and then I just sort of had these.
Oh, sorry. Wait, what? What did you say?
My penis was already kind of hard.
It was already kind of hard. They walked in. I had no choice.
Yeah.
I had no choice.
I just
They
came
bothered
everywhere.
They came in my room. I'm paying them.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
I don't know, but the pain. I'm sorry that you felt the pain. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that you felt the pain, and I don't want to be like one of those fucking doctors that are just like, what do you mean pain? Like, but I really do want to understand. Because everyone does feel pain. It's just like, I'm like an example of like, like, I don't know. I just want to know what the pain feels like. Because it must be fucking immense if you feel like you have to stay.
You don't want to know what the pain feels like.
But like, does it feel like you're like trapped in the wrong body? Does it feel like your mind is trapped? Does it feel like?
No, I think that coming to light, kind of like right now, that separated from reality, and just imagine being separated from reality. However you imagine that,
Separated from reality. I'm
Yeah.
trying to imagine that. Is it like, is it like fucking in Get Out when he's like hypnotized and he falls and
I didn't actually watch. I know you told me to watch Get Out.
Fucking great movie.
I didn't watch it.
Usually those movies, everyone's like, yo, watch it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I end up watching it, but still, like this
good.
one was actually good.
See, though, this is my hatred for everything, though. Yeah. I have this like I think that part of my hatred for it is that like I expected to be taken better care of through this journey. Like I expected that like, wow, he's mad right now. He's experiencing a separation from reality, and we need to, really, it's like someone that's come down with a terrible, terrible illness. Let's say a physical virus, and they lay in bed and they have the doctor and they have the soup given to them, and people are like coming in and like holding their hands. I mean, yeah, like it's
Was your family not even like? I mean,
well, I don't think people just knew what to do.
They don't know much about fucking schizophrenia. They used to just be like, yo, we have no idea. Go to the loony bin.
We're gonna put you, go in a loony bin, exactly. So I have to, I thought about, I'm grateful that things have progressed from there, but I'm grateful that like I get to live outside of the real world, and that there's people that will work with me like through my environment, and be compassionate to my environment. And
has your family been a good a good support system for all that?
They have, they've provided a good support. I read online, which you can't trust everything you read. I read that somewhere.
Facts.
I actually heard that in a song.
What? I read that somewhere?
No, the song lyric goes, I read somewhere that you can't trust everything you read.
Oh,
or
tongue in
something
cheek.
like
Right
that.
on the nose.
Something like that. And I completely forgot what I was talking about.
You can't trust everything you think.
You
It
can't
always
trust
runs
everything.
away.
Doggone it.
Yo, I hope that this was recording. I have no idea if it was. Can I see if it was recording and call you back?
Yeah.
All right, peace.